What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Bancroft joining y'all once again and bring you another deck profile. Not just any deck profile, but set 19, Lord Slug in his prime. Like always, there's buttons down below, there's links in the description. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. But let's get into the profile. Lord Slug is one of those decks that like to play small cards to play bigger cards. So permanent, you start the game with 6 life, so it gets a little bit complicated, but when you awaken, you do take the top card of your deck, add it to your life, and then do some other fancy stuff. But permanent, when a Slug's Army card with a combo cost of 1 would leave your battle area, you may place it in your Z energy instead. If you do, place one of your Z energy in your owner's drop. So pretty much just allows you to cycle cards that are going into the drop into your Z energy, and then you can put the weaker cards that you don't need in the Z energy back into the drop. Auto, when this card attacks, you discard one Slug's Army card from your hand, then you draw 2 cards. That's going to be very consistent throughout the whole leader, even on the Awakened side. And like I said earlier, you awaken 2 or less life, or when your opponent has 2 or more energy, and there are 2 or more Slug Army cards in your Z energy, you draw 2, switch one of your energies to active mode, and then you flip this leader over. Also, you top deck your deck into your life. So potentially you can awaken if you haven't taken damage. You have 7 life, but hey. Alright, so the same permanent about the battle cards leaving the battle area, go into your Z energy, and you just cycling the cards that way. So same auto, discard one Slug's Army card to draw 2 cards. But now it has activate main once return for 1 yellow energy. Use it to 1 mono yellow Slug's Army card with a combo cost of 1 from your drop and combo it with skills to get it for a turn. A lot of the cards that are 3 drops with a 1 combo cost have really great abilities for comboing them. So it can get really broken if you could just cycle those over and over. But this allows you to, those cards you're discarding, to still be able to pay 1 to combo those cards afterwards. And then you swim to your Z energy, because that's how the deck wants to function. Going to the 1-drops I like to play battle cards, we play 3. The Evil Invader is just a basic draw 1, but then you can activate main for 1 yellow energy to play a 3-drop from your hand. You play this card into the drop, or you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, which is the rest mode. Most of the time, we're just putting a 3-drop on the board. And then other cards that do pretty much the same thing, but have barrier. We have the Scientist Lord Slug Kakuja. When it's played, you draw 1, but has honor when this card is used in a combo from your battle area. Look up to top 10 cards of your deck. Play up to 1 yellow Slug Army card with an energy cost of 3 and a combo cost of 1 among them. And if you played a card, you shuffle 1 card from your hand to your deck. And that is 1 energy to do that as well. And then its counterpart, the other 1-drop. Nope. Sorry, I played 4 of those. Got that one mixed up. And then its counterpart, Gyoshu. Also has barrier, but when this card is played, you don't really draw 1 card, so we play a little bit. We play 1 less of this one. You search your top 3 cards for your deck, and add it to 1 Slug's Army card and 1 of them to your hand. Most times you're able to see a Slug's Army card. The rest of the cards go to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then the auto for 1 yellow energy. When this card is used in a combo from your battle area, you play up to 1 Slug's Army card with an energy cost of 3 and a combo cost of 1 from your hand. So that's where they kind of deviate. This is kind of the main one you want to play is Kakuja, just because it searches the top 10 cards of your deck. Where this one just plays from your hand. Going into the 3-drops with a combo cost of 1, and truth be told, my favorite one, I do only play as a 3-drop, but we do side 1 as well. It is the Villainous Threat one. It does have Double Strike and a Bond 2. It gets plus 5k power, so initially it's a 25 Double Strike battle card. When this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and rest mode and KO it. A really good strategy, in my opinion, is with both Gyoshu and Kakuju. Is that when you combo with these cards, when your opponent's attacking you, you can tap the energy then, and if you see this card, you could play this card instead, because like I said, when the card's played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and rest mode, you KO it. So initially, if your opponent's going for like a game hit or something like that, and it's not a card with barrier, you can just combo that card from the battle area instead, and then potentially play this Lord Slug and KO the card that your opponent's trying to hit you with. Does have Villainous, which is actually can come in handy if you were to play another one on the board, because they don't have unique. So in Villainous, it just makes your opponent discard 1 card. And then the last auto, if your leader is yellow Slug's Army card, when this card is used in a combo, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode that isn't attacking and KO it. So you can potentially combo this card from your hand as well to kind of get rid of board pressure that's already swung. So another 3-drop we play is Crawling for Youth. Deflect, unique. When this card attacks, play up to 1 yellow Slug Army card with energy cost of 1 from your deck. And this card gains 5,000 power for the turn, which is really good. So it allows you to, once you kind of establish him on the board. From that point on, any of these 1-drops that we play are just mutely played from the deck as soon as he's established. And if correct, I think they're all, just when they're all played. That's specified, so it's just whenever they're played. So you get their autos right away, so you get the draws, which is pretty good. If your leader is yellow slugs on a card, when this card is used in a combo, it gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. So initially it's a 15k single strike that plays a 1-drop for you. Going to the 5-drop, which requires to play it cheaply, one of the 3 drops of an energy cost of a combo cost of 1 in your Z energy. So activate main limit 1 for 2 yellow energy. If you have 3 or more energy and a Lord Slug of energy cost of 3 and a combo cost of 1 in your Z energy, you play this card from your hand. It is a deflect dual attack with bond 3, which gives it double strike. So initially a dual attack double strike. And when this card attacks, use it to 1 mono yellow slug on every card with a combo cost of 1 from your drop and combo up the skills to get it for the turn. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's a 10k, so there's a lot of decks out there that can pretty much hit this card pretty easily. But if you can hit this card on board, well, it has the flex, so it's pretty good, but I mean, like, with the on-play autos and whatnot, or red-negging things out. But if you can establish this card, pretty much every swing you're doing is potentially a 20k dual attack, double strike, without you having to worry about comboing from your own hand. And then once you have one of these in your Z energy, as long as one of the 3 drops, you can play the 8-drop slug for 3 energy if you have 4 more energy, and there are 2 slugs on every card with a combo cost of 1 to be an energy cost of 3, 1 to be an energy cost of 5. You can play this card from your hand. It's a triple strike. When this card attacks, play up to 2 slug armory cards with energy cost 3 or less that don't have slug armory Lord Slugs in their character's name from your deck and shuffle your deck afterwards. Then the auto bond 3, which pretty much you should have going on when you play this card. But when this card attacks, if you have a Z battle card in play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. So if you can't close the game out, you are preventing your opponent from continuously adding pressure back onto you afterwards. So those are the Lord Slug cards. Going into the things that he kind of could play, and then other parts of the engine. So starting with the 3 drops, in Zilla, which has crit, it does have successor for 1 yellow energy, which is another way to kind of play it very cheaply. But activate main once return for bond 2, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills until the start of your next turn. That can come in handy depending on what you're playing against. It can even stop a blocker from blocking against you. The other 3 drop we play, which I actually really like, is a blocker, which goes really well with the leader's permanent instead. It's a 4k. You establish it, you pretty much, your opponent swings, you block, it goes to drop, then you cycle it to your, well, before it goes to drop, you cycle it to your Z energy using the leader's effect. This is a bond 2. While this card is in active mode, it gains barrier. Auto, if your leader card is Lord Slug, when this card is used in a combo though, you choose up to one of your yellow Slug army cards and it gains double strike for the battle, which is really good for bigger pressure, especially against like on the leader swings, if they or any of like the ones that I've already gone over that don't already have double strike. It's like a Champa, but not having to play Champa. And then the active battle is use up to 1 mono yellow Slug army card with a combo cost of 1 from your hand, combo it, and then to get the skill for game. So it's a one-time kind of free combo for your drop, which is great. And then we play 3 of the 5 drops, which just costs 1 yellow energy if you have one of the 3 drops into your Z energy. It's also a blocker with bond 2. When this card activates, when this card's in active mode, it gains barrier. Once per turn, choose when you activate this card's blocker, you draw 1 card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and switches to rest mode. So you can establish this for 1 energy, just pass, your opponent swings, you block, you draw 1 card, you tap another card down. Really good. And then we play only 2 of the Meta Matcha. It just gives another target to play off the Lord Slug, or if I happen to come across one, it's great because it is a dual attacker. The problem is that it's a 10k dual attacker that only gets its auto once per turn. When this card attacks, you play 1 meta token on the board. But it has bond 4, so if you're able to establish a board, it gains plus 5k, so then it's a 15k that plays a 5-cost token for you. So pretty much, yeah, you would swing, play the token, and if you already have bond 4 procced about that token be on board, then you can combo it off making a 20k on the first strike, which is pretty cool. It does have a secondary auto. If this card is combo, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So if you need to kind of control your opponent's board, it's easier to do it that way. We do play 3 other Slug's Army cards, Lord Slug cards, which is the Super Menekian, because when you prevent your opponent from drawing, it's just really good. For extra cards, play 2 Cling to Life. It's an activate battle, which you choose one of your Slug Army cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn, so it's really great for the leader for 1 energy. But additionally, if it's your opponent's turn, you can use one Slug's Army card with a combo cost of 1 from your hand and combo with it. And it will still get the skills depending on what you combo with. You may get the plus. Ideally, in my opinion, I would go for this guy just because the additional 5k. So initially, you're for 1 energy, you're adding 15k combo power initially. 1 power Super Saiyan because tapping cards is fun. 2 Final Flash. 2 Frieza's Reinforcement Army. 2 Flying Nimbus for the aggro pressure. Because we play a lot of extra cards, we're also playing 3 of the Mecha Friezas because it's just really good Floodgate. And because we hate negates, and we're also playing yellow, 1 Cooler because why not? Alright, and going to the last of it, we do play Dark Broly, Heartless Berserker. I mean, it's just good for cleaning up the board. And then for super combos, we play 3 of the combat moments for combat Krillin, and then our secret rare, which is the Piccolo Son Gohan Newfound Might. It's just a really good card that draws on play and on swings and taps cards down. Touching base onto the Z deck real quick. We played obviously the Z Leader, which is 1 energy, 2 Z Energy. Your life needs to be 3 or less for this to work, and a Bond 3, which gains it double strike naturally. When this card attacks, you draw 1 card and use up to 1 mono yellow Slug Army card with a combo cost of 1 from your drop and combo with skills and get it for a turn. So initially on swing right away, it's a double strike, 30k if you have the cards on board. And then activate battle, use up to 1 Slug's Army card from your hand and combo with it, which you're not paying your energy for that. So initially from that point on, it could be 40 to 45 double strike. Just swing without having to expend any of your own energy. 3 of the 1-drop Enzillas because they do a lot of searching for you. They are a blocker, so they get a plus 11,000 power for the turn if they have Bond 2. And then the searching part of it is when this card is played, look up top 7 cards of your deck, add it to 1 Slug's Army card with an energy cost of 5 or less among them to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. If you added a card to your hand, you place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and you place 1 of your battle cards with a combo cost of 1 in the owner's drop. So that kind of will proc the leader's permanent to play that card immediately into your Z energy. So it allows you to do some cycling. Don't play it too often unless I really need to. Because yellow play 2 oolongs, primarily because the secret rare, it's a 40k swing. So from that point on, I can just pay 2 Z energies and then have another 40k swing. And the last one, at least, kind of like the tech option of the Z deck, the Goku. It's deflect, but it has the ability to prevent your opponent from swinging up your leader. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's leaders, unisons, or battle cards in rest mode, and it can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it can help kind of stall your opponent out in case you overexert yourself and you're afraid to crack back. I mean, this is a good option for that, or just if you just want your opponent from getting draws off the leader and you have Super Necking on board. And because we do sideboards, to go over real quick, 1 additional villainous threat, 1 demonic transformation Piccolo because it's a great counterplay which works for yellow decks, and it stops anything from 4 or less when it's played. It has its skills negated for a turn. For primarily blue matchups or anything that's like extra card heavy, play Absolute Annihilation. Don't know if that's the best choice, but I feel like it was important. Additional Final Flash, Forbidden Power, primarily because I just like the art, but I mean, it's a nice extra card that kind of prevents your opponent from going super aggro against you. If I need to do another Frieza's Armor Reinforcement, I do have the option there. 2 Realm of Gods Black Kamehamehas, just tapping down cards is always good. 2 Release from Evils, primarily if my opponent's playing a certain leader deck, I will slide this in just to pay the 1 and then say, no, don't get none of your stuff, please. 2 Protection of the People, which is really good. Once again, another aggro option. If I feel like I can make it happen, another cooler. And then just for blue decks that like to stall the game as long as possible, I play 1 Jiren just in case they try to Android 17 me. But that is my Slug's Army in his prime deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below, links in the description. Put in the comments down below what you think you would change differently, or how you play your deck. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Bye.